Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about the processes of ejaculation. Why do you need this information? First of all, to be educated about your sexual health and male sexual anatomy. Remember that knowledge is power. And secondly, if you suffer from any sexual function issues, especially related to ejaculation, this video will help you to understand where the root of the problem might come from and how to prevent it. Let's begin.
The process of ejaculation. Let's look at it in detail. Ejaculation itself is a very complex, coordinated process that involves nervous, muscular, and reproductive systems. It is believed that ejaculation and orgasm is the same thing, but it's not true. Ejaculation and orgasm are not the same. They are completely separate, independent, physiological, very complicated processes that quite often happen simultaneously. However, ejaculation can happen without orgasm, and to the contrary, orgasm can happen without ejaculation. In this presentation, we're going to look at the ejaculation itself. Ejaculation has two main phases: emission and expulsion. Everything starts with sexual stimulation and arousal. When brain starts to receive signals from the outside world through the representative systems like visual, what it sees, or auditory, what it hears, or tactile, what it touches, olfactory, what it smells, and gustatory, what it tastes. So brain starts to receive the stimuli that signal to the brain that sex is about to happen, and when brain processes this stimuli, it starts to activate the sympathetic nervous system that is all about fight or flight response, but also important to trigger the arousal. And sympathetic nervous system would work together with parasympathetic nervous system that is all about digest and rest, all about relaxation. And during this process, this system will facilitate penile erection. So it's a much more complicated process, but I try to explain it to you as simple as possible. So once the sexual stimuli received and processed by the brain, it sends signals to sympathetic nervous system to activate it for arousal, action, fight or flight response, and to facilitate penile erection through parasympathetic nervous system that is all about digest and rest. Erection happens due to increased blood flow to penile arteries, and at the same time, blood cannot come out from penis at the same speed because veins that provide that outflow, they are contracted, and this process leads to erection. The next stage is called emission phase or emission stage. It's all about sympathetic control. So when arousal peaks, the sympathetic nervous system becomes dominant. And it's all about controlling emission phase of ejaculation. What happens during this time is smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are muscles that we can't control voluntarily in our body. And when we talk about male sexual anatomy, we mean here vas deferens. So vas deferens is a cord through which a sperm is transported. So if you're not sure about the anatomical names, please revisit my video about male sexual anatomy. So during this sympathetic control, there are very strong involuntary contractions of vas deferens, muscles in the vas deferens, seminal vesicles, and prostate gland. And what these contractions do, they basically propel semen that is been waiting for that in epididymis. So semen starts in testes, then goes to epididymis where it waits, where it matures, and then ready to be expelled. So during this strong contractions, mature semen is basically propelled through vas deferens, then seminal vesicles, and then through ducts, and then going towards urethra. And how sperm is formed, we're going to talk a little bit later in this presentation. But in order to prevent retrograde ejaculation, which is a very painful process, because that's when semen goes, instead of going to urethra, it goes to bladder. So in order to prevent this painful situation, bladder neck closes down, so semen cannot enter in a healthy body, semen cannot enter bladder, and semen is pushed out through the internal urethral sphincter, because all of this system is under very strong muscular contractions, and the outside urethra opens up so semen could come out. And this is basically the emission phase of ejaculation. So the next phase in the process of ejaculation is called expulsion phase, when there is a somatic control. Somatic control is all about rhythmic contractions. So when somatic nervous system controls the rhythmic contractions of muscles, ischiocavernosus muscle that you can see here on the picture, and bulbospongiosus muscle, or also bulbocavernosus muscle. These are pelvic floor muscles that are located at the base of penis and play a very important role in the process of ejaculation. So these contractions are very strong, and they propel semen through the urethra out of the penis, leading to ejaculation. And these contractions, they are typically felt as pleasurable sensations. They are kind of like pulsations, and they're associated with orgasm. About orgasm we'll talk a little bit later, not in this presentation, but it's quite important to understand that this is a completely separate process, but they coincide sometimes, in most cases actually. And then the external urethral sphincter relaxes to allow the expulsion of semen. And the last phase of this process is called resolution or refractory period, resolution phase or refractory period, when sympathetic nervous system takes over again, and that leads to the loss of erection. So penis goes back to its flaccid state, and that's when man experiences a refractory period where no sexual arousal or ejaculation or sexual intercourse is possible for a while. And duration obviously depends on age, health, and individual factors. We just looked at different phases of ejaculation process, but now let's look at the factors that influence it. First of all, it's hormonal balance. Testosterone plays an essential role in libido and maintenance of erection function and general male sexual well-being and health. So testosterone level has to be normal, and it's important to check your testosterone level from time to time, especially if you feel that there is a decrease in libido, or maybe there are some problems with sexual functioning. Another very important key factor is neurological health, so proper functioning of sympathetic, parasympathetic and somatic nervous systems. That's why a male sexual health is very much dependent on his general health condition. So again, the first thing to eliminate any organic physiological causes, and if they are not there, then it's worth looking at a psychological side of the problem. But the first step to treatment, if there are any sexual function issues, is to check general health. Cardiovascular system of man is closely connected with his reproductive system, and it's important that penis would receive adequate blood flow in order to have healthy erections and be able to participate in fulfilling sexual act. What is important to understand is that if suddenly you start to experience problems in your sexual life, again, remember that it could be the cause of underlying problems, undiagnosed problems with heart and any other cardiovascular related issues. So the first thing is also to go and check that with medical specialists, because your penis would feel problems with heart before it's diagnosed. So it's very much advised to check it before it's too late. And also, if all the physiological elements are eliminated, then psychological factors cannot be ignored, because stress, anxiety and negative emotions, they have really strong impact on male sexual activity and male sexual well-being. Let's talk about semen. Semen is also known as seminal fluid. It's organic bodily fluid that contains sperm. It's a product of different male reproductive system organs. And the first one is testes. Testes, these are male gonads where testosterone male hormone is produced, as well as 2 to 5% of the sperm fluid, with approximately 200 to 500 million sperm or spermatozoans produced in testes. Sperm, when it's produced, it moves to epididymis. And in epididymis, it gets mature and then it gets stored and waits until it's ready to travel throughout vas deferens cord throughout the whole male sexual system. When it travels through the cord, it goes to seminal vesicles. And in seminal vesicles, 60 to 70% of seminal fluid is produced. And this fluid consists of amino acids, citrate, enzymes, flavins, fructose, phosphorylcholine, prostaglandins, proteins, vitamin C. Men who have vasectomy would not have ejaculatory fluid. The next destination would be prostate, and prostate contributes to 25 to 30% of the fluid. The fluid that is produced in prostate would have acid phosphatase, citric acid, fibrinolysin, prostate-specific antigen, proteolytic enzymes, and zinc. Zinc is very important for the strength of the sperm, because when zinc is low, sperm becomes very fragile. And the next will be bulbourethral glands or Cowper glands, because they contribute about 1% of seminal fluid.
If you found this video useful and educational, please don't forget to click like, and please subscribe to my channel for more information and education on sexual health and well-being. See you soon.